Okay, so basically what happened is that, in my opinion, lane swaps are literally boring. But why do I think so? I think so because I just came from LAC and I watched Worlds, and everybody did. And at Worlds we had a lot of complaints about, imagine that we had 5 games of Bin lane against Zeus in a lane matchup where you can actually express skill. I do believe that lane swapping does express skill too, but it's slightly different from swapping minute. We are talking about strictly about swapping in minute 1, right? Because we are not talking about lane swaps at 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 4 minutes, because these lane swaps are part of the game. But level 1 lane swapping makes drafting very specific. Not being able to swap level 1 also makes drafting really specific. When you draft to win lane, opponent will lane swap to avoid laning against you. And in exchange, opponent will try to draft champions that are better at staying under tower and catching waves. If you draft for winning lane, you will do the opposite, right? You will play more ranged carries, Karma, Caitlyn, like these kind of champions that are very, very frustrating to play against. This is the playstyle that T1 had until the lane swaps were a thing. T1 used to play Kalista support because no one could punish them because they were stun bot lane so hard. Nowadays you can't really do it because if you look in Kalista support, you will just get lane swap on, after which 3-4 minutes Kalista support is going to be completely worthless because she didn't bully the lane. So my reason as to why lane swaps are boring in a tournament that is strictly for streamers and doesn't really do anything whether you win or lose is because in my opinion, it would be more interesting to watch famous streamers play against each other in lanes to see who is like the better streamer, the better player, right? So for example, we have Agurin against me, one-on-one jungling, where both of us are trying to be creative with jungle pathing, how to impact lanes. Then we have the Baus playing against Rutut in a one-on-one matchup, who is the better top laner. Then we have, I don't know, mid lane, we have Nemesis against No Way, playing without, playing with jungle, playing 2v2 mid jungle, something like this, right? So in my opinion, lane swapping is just boring for the viewers. But do I care if lane swaps are going to be open or not? I don't actually care because I understand lane swaps and I think my team is going to do fine. And by the way, lane swaps will not be banned. Lane swaps will be part of the tournament. That's confirmed 100%. I understand lane swaps. I know what to do. That being said, is Los Ratones understanding lane swaps than my team? Yeah, 100%. First of all, they proved it in the scrims we played. Second of all, I'm playing with full streamer team. I have only one player that was a pro, and that's Kenzuke, and he is a mid laner, so he doesn't actually do anything. He is not part of it. I have 3 players that are streamers. I don't really have players that really understand lane swapping, which is fine, you can learn it. It's just, I could see or hear the frustration from my top laner and my AD carry about them really wanting to lane and their strong part being the laning phase and how much they actually hate the swap meta. And I was also part of Worlds, watching Worlds and commenting on Worlds. And I also saw how people didn't really like the lane swap meta. People are actually complaining about the lane swap meta because how boring it is to see lane swap every game. It gets so stale. Nothing is really going on. You just see people running around and catching waves for the first 10 minutes. There's no action, right? So in my opinion, lane swapping is boring. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong. Is lane swapping a better way to win the game for certain teams? Definitely it is. Than for the other teams. Is my team specifically weaker or not weaker? I don't mind. Yes, maybe weaker than Los Ratones, for sure, because again, they proved in scrims. But are we weaker than other teams trying to do the same thing? Not necessarily, right? Besides, you have a week to really discuss things, so you don't really know what's gonna happen. So in my opinion, lane swaps are just boring. I heard frustration from my laners, so I asked whether this is just something that we should look into. The decision is lane swaps will be a thing. We can call lane swap, like everybody can play however they want. I think that's completely reasonable. I don't really mind that much personally. It's something I was trying to, take care of my teammates and make sure that they are happy playing the game and make sure that viewers are happy watching. That being said, I mean, K-Dral is probably bringing the most viewers to this tournament, right? As Los Ratones are like the biggest team in this tournament and they are the most popular. So their take or his take is gonna be the one that will come out on top inevitably because he has just the biggest audience. And he's the one who I suppose, I mean, I don't know because I don't really watch their scrims either. I only play 5 games against them. I know they lane swap a lot. So basically they lane swap 4 games against us and they won all 4. And then the one game they didn't, they lost. That's how like our scrims went. Can these guys beat us without lane swapping? 100% yes. 100% yes. Can we beat them if they lane swap? 100% yes as well. I don't think it makes that big of a difference anyway. I think these games are quite, they are not like very high standard games, so it's like whatever.